All right.
Okay, Austin, just brief introductions. This is Matt at the top on the moon, Kyle in
Over
his
the
power,
moon.
and Caleb on his porch.
You're
All right.
on the moon, not over the
I'm
moon.
You're
over the moon.
on the moon, Matt.
You see the
You're
Earth?
on the moon.
This picture was taken from orbit, okay? I am over the moon about the Vols' performance this past Saturday, guys. Who expected what happened there? Tennessee goes to Missouri. And
Have you started?
oh yeah, we're live. We're not
Oh,
live,
yeah.
but we're
Oh.
live. Tennessee goes to Missouri
Way
and
to count
wins
us down, Matt. Way to
62.
count us down.
We got to keep it real. Can't, got to get the real you. But yeah, Tennessee goes to Missouri, gets the win 62-24. Who expected that? Anybody?
What was my score prediction?
Matt,
I think
check
that
the
I
stats.
lose by 10.
Yeah, it's somewhere here, man. I got flustered.
Power outage really takes it out of you, huh?
I had everything ready to go on my notes, and now I'm back to nothing. But
So the power went out and moved your notes.
so Caleb and Chris, no, they're here somewhere. You guys talk. I'll find my notes.
Oh.
I was told there are no notes,
Yeah,
but
no
you
notes.
know,
No, it's not really a note. It's more just our score prediction from last week.
Okay. Okay.
Caleb
All right.
and Chris both picked Missouri to win, and myself and Kyle picked UT to win, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So, but they were all close scores. But man, 62-24. Vols just, oh my gosh, like scored 5 touchdowns in under 6 minutes of time of possession in the first half. There, like, unbelievable performance. What do you guys think?
The main thing. Oh, you go ahead, Caleb.
I was just going to say, I think perhaps Missouri's defense is the worst thing I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately worse. They looked worse than Tennessee Tech to me.
Yeah, that was my thing. Was like, I don't think that was about us being good. About just that game was just about how garbage they are. And I saw their starting cornerback towards ACL today, so they're going to be worse this Saturday.
Like in practice or in the game?
Yeah, like in practice today.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, I saw where Eli said it's no longer business as usual at Missouri, so we'll see.
What could that possibly mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're going to have players tear their ACLs in practice to try to get better. They fired their defensive line coach after the Vols ran for, what was it, like 458 yards, I think?
I'm
No
sure that'll
sense.
fix it.
51, Emery and Henry.
Chris, what do you think? Because you were the one that was most skeptical going
that's
into
what I was gonna
Saturday.
Well, I mean, I truly have never seen a defense just lay down and die like that. I watched Pigeon Forge High School football for 4 years. Us lie down and die like. I talked to some old GP football players that said no, we ran the ball all the time and we never got to 400. Like, it was absurd. It was insane. It made no sense, especially considering that they did pretty well against Kentucky. They did pretty well against Boston College, even though they lost. Like, it was a fairly surprising result, but the takeaway on the other side of it was a nice glimpse at what the Josh Heupel offense can be in its fullest form.
I think my favorite moment on offense was that 92-yard Tyon Evans run where you see Ollie Lane just like Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory. Like, oh, it was beautiful.
He got them Gibbs hips rolling.
Yeah.
Austin, did you watch our game?
I watched most of it. I was flipping back and forth between that and I think Michigan and Wisconsin or whoever they were playing. But when
offensive performance didn't just glue you to the TV.
Well, when it was like 42-14, right going into halftime, I was like, okay, I don't need to watch this anymore. So
yeah, you do. You do. It's your next opponent. What are you talking about?
No. Well, it's just I knew that we would struggle to score against Troy later on, so I didn't want to hurt myself too bad emotionally,
We were all glued to the Troy game.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we've been there. We've been in a tough fight with Troy before. Well, yeah, we'll get to that though. So,
all in good time.
I think my biggest take from Saturday was Mizzou's defense just looked like they just weren't even trying out there. Like Kyle, you said it in the chat there that it looked like it was Madden on easy, and that's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah, we were Team Tiburon.
I mean, I felt so bad for, like, when they show shots of Mizzou fans in the stands, I genuinely, like, felt for those people and was humbled that I was not one of those people.
I did not feel that at all, man.
I didn't feel that.
I mean, we've been bad, but I don't think, other than defensively, other than maybe 2012, we've been that bad. And I was like, oh, man, I'm sorry, guys.
We got beat, but we didn't get boat raced like that in 2012, I don't think.
That was a terrible rushing defense in 2012, if I remember correctly. We made the
Was
switch
that
to the
Southern
3-4. Yeah. Dooley's critical year, and we switched to a 3-4, and we can't stop anything under the sun.
Well, I think with Sal's defense, like, we were just taking, like, horrible angles, but we were still within, like, 3 or 5 yards from tackling somebody. I mean, my God, like, we just handed our run plays were like run left, run right. That was like the extent of our run plays Saturday. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think we cut once. What was the defensive front? Was it like a 3-3-5, or do you remember?
First off, Chris, are you like in the Blair Witch Project or something? Where are you right now?
Are you scared?
Parts unknown.
It's like you're walking in the forest.
Parts
and there's
unknown.
nobody around.
All right.
Never mind where I am.
I think my other big take from Missouri is our defensive performance. Like, I did not expect them to just basically make Missouri's offense just awful, and that's what they did. I mean, they played. That was their best game of the year, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
had Tyler Beatty been stopped like that?
I mean, he ran well, but we didn't give in to any big plays really. We had that kickoff return for a touchdown, but I think that was designed on our part. Like, I honestly do.
I mean, I think I joked about that, but I don't think we said like, hey, let them.
Yeah, me and you made a joke about it. Yeah, but I genuinely, the more I think about it, I think that was a designed, hey, just let them score. I didn't go back and watch it, but
I had some conspiratorial thoughts throughout. Like every single, I mean, how many times did the game stop with a Tennessee player laying on his side going, oh. I wonder how much of that was strategic.
That was something I was really concerned about, was the amount of injuries. It seemed like we had 5 or 6 guys.
Yeah, but everyone's healthy this week.
Yeah. I kind of agree with this. I feel like we were our defense a little breather.
Yeah, but shout out to the defense. 2 takeaways, 0 turnovers. I think that's huge. I mean, you go out there against an SEC team and have 0 turnovers and score that many points. Like, good on you.
And like I don't think Jeremy Banks got a personal foul this week.
Okay, yes, I made a note of that because there was one play where I think
where he like pulled up and like
he had a guy lined up on the sideline to just get that personal foul penalty that he's known for, that he's going for the world record in, and he didn't do it. Had her only sack and an interception on the day, so great job, Jeremy Banks. He's a regular listener.
No suplex.
Austin, who were the players of the game for the Gamecocks? Who played quarterback? Was it the grad assistant or?
No, he's been the backup since the 3rd series of the Georgia game after he got his hand stepped on by a 390-pound lineman that runs 4.40 or something like that. So, but it was Luke Doty, his like 4th or 5th start, overall. But he looked good. The pass game looked good overall. It was really our tight ends or the star.
Yeah, who do we look out for as skill players?
It's the 2 tight ends. It's Muse and Jaheim Bell. Jaheim Bell's a freak. I mean, he ran for like 200 yards in our spring game because all of our running backs were injured, just for fun, I guess. And he's just been athletic, the most athletic guy on the field for us. And then our wide receiver didn't play much against our best wide receiver, Josh Van, didn't play much against Troy, but he's had 300 or 400 yard games this year already. So those are the big guys. Obviously the running backs were supposed to be great, but I don't think we've had a 100-yard rushing game all season. So that's kind of smoke.
Well, we've
smoke
not had a
with no fire
100-yard
there.
receiving game all season, so
Well,
fair
there we go.
trade there.
Yeah.
Are we moving on from Missouri? Let's just go straight into South Carolina.
Wait. Couple more things. Do you think the starters were in there too long?
Yes. Quarterback, at least. I don't care about the
Well,
others.
who else do you go to, though? I mean, I guess you go to, I don't know.
I mean, you're
I
just
agree
going to
with the
run the
quarterback.
ball, but
Yeah.
Is Harrison Bailey dead, or is he just not there
he's
anymore?
a vegan
Yes.
or a vegetarian
Okay.
now, and
Okay.
it's against his religion to throw a
Mm.
football, so
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
we don't know.
I don't know. I feel like Hooker is going to get hurt at some point this season. I mean, he ran the ball 15 times against Missouri. I feel like he didn't need to run the ball 15 times against Missouri. It's unnecessary hits he's taking. So I would have liked to see Joe Milton try to get better. I don't know.
I think once you start to take out the starting linemen, like I don't think Cade Mays played the whole second half. I think once you take them out, you have to make a change at quarterback. I mean, the game was well in hand. We scored 35 in the first quarter. But the longer I think about it, I think it's also good. It's another game to kind of get that conditioning. I know I've been one to critique our time of possession and our defense getting tired, but the longer I think about it, the only issue I had was leaving Hooker in there too long. But I think if you're going to keep him in there, try to work on your passing game. Our receivers continue to be non-existent.
I mean, what is Jalen Hyatt doing? No catches in that game. Did he play?
I mean, they need to get him a bigger jersey. His jersey doesn't go down his belly button.
I think that's a style choice. Yeah, I don't think I saw him in the game.
I saw him a couple times, but
He's saving his strength for the home state team.
we did have a couple of downfield passes to our tight ends, which I always love to see that. Gosh.
Doesn't that just make your heart all warm and fuzzy?
Yeah. Other than that, I wrote the offensive line was exhausted. What do you think about them using Whitehead at running back? That was odd. And then voted SEC co-freshman of the week with 80 yards rushing. Did any other freshman play this week?
Phillips.
Who?
Phillips was the guy that had the last touchdown, didn't he?
Pierce.
Pierce. How many tailbacks do we have? I don't know everybody.
But isn't Pierce like a walk-on?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He was a walk-on, right?
Well, he's a transfer from I think Maryville College. I think he was playing there, and he's like a grad transfer or something. But that dude runs very strangely. If you go back and watch his touchdown run, I don't know, he runs like a duck. No offense, but
he's
all right.
Maurice Jones-Drew.
Hey, that's a good comparison. Yeah, he's a smaller. Yeah, MJD.
Let's get to South Carolina. We have a special guest on, so let's talk about that.
Who?
Absolutely.
All right, folks. South Carolina versus Tennessee, Saturday, noon Eastern. Not an SEC network this time. According to Knoxville News Sentinel, it's going to be on ESPN2. The line, last I checked, Tennessee was a 10.5-point favorite, and the over-under was 64.5, I think.
It'll be a blackout at high noon.
A blackout at noon o'clock. Oh, man, I'm worried. Hopefully it's not going to be hot. Hodtow, what's the weather for Saturday? Have you looked?
Well, thank you, Matt, and good Wednesday evening to you. I think it's going to be pretty warm this come Saturday.
How warm? Humidity? Come on.
Or something, I don't know, 77.
Put that little Vol helmet underneath Saturday and give us the forecast, Hod.
What's the dew point values going to be, Hod?
Barometric pressure at kickoff.
Check the barometric.
But yes, the Vols today unveiled their Nike first edition. Who's that going? Chris, I feel like it's you.
Probably Chris.
Black uniforms. So exciting to see that right when I wake up on Saturday and turn on the Vols. But yeah, Austin, you're experienced at black uniforms. Do you think they play a factor in the heat?
I do, yeah, and Chris can attest. I think the last time you guys wore black uniforms was in 2009. I think on Halloween weekend, and I went to that game with Chris, if I remember correctly, and it was
on the 50-yard line, man.
Yeah, and it was one of the most humbling experiences as a South Carolina fan I've ever had. So
when Montano Hardesty hit that pivot, did that? What do you?
He hit the Hardesty spin move.
No.
Right.
The play for me is the play action, just pass deep bomb to Austin Johnson. Oh my!
Yeah.
I was in the Pride at the time, and I saw, I remember when the play action happened. I think it was play action at least. But Austin just went up, I think it was the left side, and it was just I stood up and immediately saw it. I literally was standing up with my arms in the air and screaming touchdown before he even threw the ball. That was my favorite play.
What do you think you are, Lane Kiffin, Matt?
I miss you, Lane.
Oh,
come home soon. Maybe we can make Heupel offensive coordinator and Kiffin head coach.
This is quintessential Tennessee fan thinking.
Speaking of head coaches, Austin, Shane Beamer, former Tennessee grad assistant.
Right.
What?
What are your thoughts? Yeah, apparently he worked for Filmer.
Yeah.
In the early 2000s.
Smart, Filmer, all these guys. Riley.
I mean, can you confirm that he's the reason we lost the SEC championship game in one of those years?
I know that was the rumor, but I can't confirm that. But I know that people have discussed that, and I'll follow up on that question next time I get an opportunity, just to see what we can find out.
Thank you. What are your early thoughts? Well, first, what were your thoughts initially at the hire, and your thoughts now at this point?
I was, it was an interesting set of choices we had. It seemed like it was guys that either had ties to the state or just totally random guys that I didn't think would stay very long. It seemed like stepping stones. So we're not Georgia, we're not Alabama, we're not these destinations where people end up. So to get the guy that wants to be there and has ties and wants to build something, I was happy with that. And the most success we've had in my lifetime was obviously when Spurrier was there, as all you guys know. And he was there, and he hopes to build that again. So that's all I can hope for. I don't know if it'll work, but
this is something that always bothers me, is the fact that South Carolina, they have some history in basketball, a little bit more than football, but South Carolina has employed Lou Holtz and Steve Spurrier as their head coaches. Like that, it's like, what?
Right, and we historically we were the place that hired the guy that was pretty much retired, that had very little energy left.
Yeah,
so
Holtz hadn't coached in forever when you guys
right.
Him.
So a young coaching staff and a fairly young guys is exciting in comparison.
Yeah.
You don't have any appreciation for the Lou Holtz years after Brad Scott?
No, it was pretty much painful the whole way through.
Okay, so pulling up Lou Holtz, he got to South Carolina in '99. In '99, the Gamecocks went 0-11.
Mm-hmm.
In 2000, they went 8-4, 01, 9-3, 5-7, 5-7, and then 6-5 for a combined record of 33-37, 19-29 in SEC play. So,
right. I remember 9 wins was very exciting back then. Yeah.
Are you too good for 9 wins now?
No, not at all. I would take 6, for the next 5 years, and I'd be pretty happy.
Should be a Vol fan. Oh god.
That's you born to be one of us.
So give us what's your South Carolina fandom background?
So I grew up in Charleston, South Carolina, and which is a weird place for college football because there's not, you're closer to Columbia than Clemson, but everybody's kind of split from where they're from. But my family was always South Carolina people, so I've been burdened with that, that fandom my entire life, unfortunately. But it just makes the success sweeter when it happens every 3 decades, however often it happens. So ever since I was a kid, though, I've followed them and they've been my team, and through Lou Holtz and Spurrier and everybody else, kind of riding the roller coaster.
Right. Who else been to a game at South Carolina? Was it Williams-Brice Stadium?
Williams-Brice Stadium, yeah. Chris has been.
Myself.
I have not.
Been to a basketball game there.
I've also been to that basketball game. Go Bruce Pearl, we miss you. Come home.
Go to the Carolina Arena or Colonial Life?
I think. I don't know.
Hey, Chris, can't put us on the spot like that.
Had to.
Chris, we're over the moon about the Vols winning against Missouri, but
Yeah.
Is that what your picture is about, Matt?
Yeah, man, I'm over the moon. The Vols are back. You just now got it? I'm just kidding. Love your hat, Kyle.
It looked like you're on the moon. Sorry.
Caleb, what's your hat? What does that say? Tennessee?
Yeah.
Traditions.
I still can't read it. What does it say?
Volunteer traditions.
Volunteer traditions.
Jerseys from 1903 to 1914.
Oh man, it's delayed with FedEx right now. I'll get to it, but what were we talking about? We got sidetracked. That happens often here, Austin. So you grew up.
I want a scouting report from him about South Carolina.
Yeah, what do we look out for?
That's a good time to interject. I have another special guest to come in on the South Carolina preview phase or segment.
God.
Please introduce.
Oh shit.
Who is this?
How are you, my friend?
That's Benjamin Bartley. How are you, sir?
This is strange. I feel like I'm out of focus, and it's dark, and I'm drinking wine, and I don't really know what we're talking about, and I really don't care about South Carolina or Tennessee football.
Oh.
But we'll pretend like I do.
Okay.
In the name of Frank Beamer's son, because that's the most South Carolina hire I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It's like remember when they had Beamer ball? That was fun. Let's hire that guy. Anyway, so what were we talking about in a very serious vein?
They're about to ask for a scouting report on South Carolina this year.
Garbage. All the way around garbage.
Oh gosh.
Get this guy out of here. Who is this guy?
I say that as an Auburn fan. Wait, a helicopter's going over.
This is great TV.
Okay, well.
That was the life star. Someone just died.
Oh, rest in peace.
So, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Important football program.
We're one of the 12 or however many there are. Yeah.
It's like 16 or 20 now.
It's growing.
I think it's 16, right? We'll be 16.
Oh, Texas, Oklahoma, South Carolina, NC State.
How many years before it's just like 64 teams and it's just a one and done tournament where you might only play one football game a year?
That's the ACC, Pac-12, Big Ten conglomerate. They're saying, like, we're going to stop this monopoly. We're going to beat the SEC. We're just going to all be together. So, I don't know. I feel like I'm in the Blair Witch Project.
That's what I said.
Out of focus, and it's awkward. And I don't want to interrupt your vibes. So,
No, it's all good.
all right. So let's talk about football seriously.
Let's talk about wine. What kind of wine are you drinking? Or not. All right, South Carolina scouting report.
I can barely hear you. There's
Report. What do we got to look forward to?
Yeah, so defense has been the strong point this year. I think our safety, Jalen Foster, is tied for the lead in the nation in interceptions. I think we're top 10 scoring defense or something like that.
We don't throw interceptions.
Right. So you guys don't throw very much, so it'll be an interesting match there.
No, we're going to throw it all over the field, but we're not going to throw interceptions.
Okay. All right.
Well, you throw one, start throwing an interception. If you throw screen passes, it's
don't
difficult.
do that.
You do that. I've watched a little bit. Or you throw like 60-yard passes over people's heads.
That is true. We do. Oh man.
That's Joe Milton, and you turn a new page, so it's different.
Yeah, we don't throw interceptions or completions.
So how is the defensive line at South Carolina?
It's been a lot better this year. They've getting a lot more consistent pressure on the quarterback. More sacks than we've had the last few years. Number one, Inigbare is probably going to be a first-round draft pick, so he's been pretty solid so far. That's our strong point, if anything. We've probably got 8 guys that can play the D-line and rotate in and out. So,
any of them want to transfer here? That would be.
We'll take Harrison Bailey if you guys want to take one of those guys, and we kind of need a quarterback.
I would trade HB for a tight end and a couple of defensive linemen. That seems fair. What about you guys?
Yeah, I feel like when Harrison Bailey played the 5 minutes he played, he was clearly our third best, so he can go.
I don't know.
As an aside, why is everyone so obsessed with Harrison Bailey? I don't understand.
That's why he was in there with like third string guys. Like, I don't fault him for that.
I don't either, but I'm just saying he's obviously our third best quarterback. And Joe Milton and Hooker's better than him.
I think the situation he was put in also didn't really warrant okay, what can this guy do? Like, start him against South Carolina, and I'm sure he has a completely different energy and success. But so Caleb, you worried about the South Carolina defense? What do you think? We'll start moving our way towards predictions.
I feel like we'll probably score. I'm a little worried about turnovers, but
You're worried about us committing turnovers?
yeah, I don't against a defense that has a pulse. I am a little bit worried that we'll throw interceptions. Like you remember at the end of the Pittsburgh game, Hendon Hooker throwing directly to a linebacker when the game was on the line. So I'm a little bit worried about that.
Yeah, that happens, but I don't know. I'm curious to see our offensive game plan. See if we are able to finally get some of those receivers going. I think Velus Jones was our leading receiver this past week with like 7 for 79. So,
I'm also interested to see like is Cooper Mays going to play because like I was shocked at how little resistance Missouri put up on the defensive line. So if South Carolina's defensive line has a pulse, then I'd be interested to see if we get any push in the run game.
Right. So Austin, what do you think? What are the Gamecocks' chances to come into Neyland and upset the Vols after a exciting victory?
Before today, I probably would have given them 35%, something like that, 30%. The offense has just been bad. Haven't been able to score enough. But now that the black jerseys are coming out, it's dropped down to about 15% probably, just because I think those things are cursed, man. After 2009, I'm going to have to see something on the field to make me think they're not cursed.
So.
Is that the game? Austin, is that the game you went to with Chris, the 2009?
Yep, on Halloween.
What was the score of the game? I can't remember.
It was like 35-7 at halftime is all I remember, or 28-7 or something like that. But I blacked out after that point.
That was Lane Kiffin's 1 year?
Yeah.
Well, okay. They might be cursed. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're trying to believe in Tennessee here as a conglomerate. So yeah, you're probably right. South Carolina sucks. And as a friend, I love you, and you should talk to me more often to get emotional on this podcast that 12 people listen to.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well,
That's a good
12 loyal, honest people. And Chris is talking to this girl. I'm going to try to get him back on here because I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just standing here like literally a person captured in the Blair Witch Project. So,
Hey Ben, hold on a second. He was cagey about where you're at. Where are you?
I'm like the spirit of God. I'm everywhere.
Yeah, but what physical location are you embodying right now?
Well, I'm physically embodying a location that's variable in a house at home.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Which is strange, and I know I've only saw you like 2 years ago, but I do own a home now, and
Cool.
we could barbecue or something one time.
Yeah, or you can come down to Chattanooga. Either one.
Are you in Chattanooga?
You guys cut all this out, but yeah, I'm in Chattanooga now.
When did you move to Chattanooga? I mean, this is not important to this podcast at all.
Right. I'll
It's
text
fine.
you. After,
No one's watching.
I'll text you after this.
Okay. You saw my number?
I think so.
Okay.
I'll confirm it with Chris. Either way.
Okay. Well, you text me after this, and we'll hook up, and we'll talk about things personal, not on this podcast. That's talking about predictions and
Yes.
not in a field somewhere in a wheat, like where the children of the corn live. So
Yeah.
I'll pass it back to Chris.
All right.
All right. Podcast handoff.
Great planning, Chris.
Great.
Your preparation for this podcast is unparalleled.
We all need to see Austin. Did Ben have any insights?
No, it was pretty negative across the board.
We might be
Okay.
able to go viral with like a Facebook reconnection, like sob story, but other than that, I
Yeah.
don't know. Never found out what wine he was drinking either.
It's
Oh, well.
cheap, whatever it is.
So Austin, you were at 35%, and you said after the black jerseys, what are you at now?
About 15%. Yeah.
15%.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen, but pretty low.
We're
I
Vol
think the
fans.
black
That's
jerseys-
not an accurate statement.
Yeah, I think the black jerseys make it worse for us, just because
Yeah, they
every
don't-
time we do something with a big hype, we end up not.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. Is like this is Tennessee, and anytime we try a gimmick, like we're gonna mess it up.
Yeah.
But 50 penalties in the first, quarter. I mean, just wait.
I mean,
So-
Aren't we like 1-4 in Checker Neyland?
something like that.
Oh, we only do.
But
it
you
for
have to
big
remember, though,
games.
like, South Carolina's the team where our defensive backs will pick up a fumble or make an interception and then throw the ball before they cross the goal line. So you'll probably be fine.
I
don't
think
know.
you're being nice, Austin. I think you're holding.
I think that's the point that I'm at. Is we saw against Missouri, yeah, that defense is atrocious, but still an SEC defense. We saw what we're capable of. I think that's the floor right now. Like, you should be able to score against these lower level SEC teams, and you should be able to at least compete with your defense. So, what do you think, Caleb?
Thinking, I don't know that that's an SEC defense we just played. They're like 129th in the country.
I
Or
mean,
something.
they've got SEC caliber players at least.
They are technically in the SEC. Yes, Matt, I will give you that they are in the conference, but I don't know that they're an SEC defense.
I mean, they weren't that bad last year, and I'm sure it's mainly the same guys. Probably has to do with their defensive coordinator hire, but
They suck.
okay.
Yeah, they're real bad.
Kyle, what
Yeah.
do you think? Do you expect a performance like that the rest of the way out, except for like Alabama and Georgia?
No, obviously not. But I would say that I'm not. I mean, I think we're going to score, but not like we did last week. But my whole thing was like, this game comes about our defense because I just don't know I don't know enough about South Carolina to know if they're going to be a high-powered offense to score against us or not. I'm thinking no, but I don't know how our defense is going to play.
Chris?
It could be like, you guys, struggled for the first 4 or 5 games, however many there were before Missouri, and then the offense kind of broke out. So we've been the same and just not had that breakout moment yet. If it happens, it might never happen this season, or could be on the horizon. Who knows?
I don't know. It's definitely most likely to happen this Saturday.
We are very charitable. Yeah. We love making people Heisman contenders.
And we've not talked about this yet. Like everybody, since we beat Missouri, everybody's just eyeing Ole Miss. So God knows we shouldn't be overlooking South Carolina, but we are.
I don't think the players are. I mean, they don't have any sort of care for the fact that Kiffin was here. Like, I think it's more of a fandom thing that people Ole Miss. Like, I don't know. I don't think that's the case.
I don't know how.
I'm just worried about it.
History of Tennessee, South Carolina could expect anything other than some kind of 27-21 or like 14-9 kind of.
Caleb, we will never accept that. I remember coming back from a band competition, and you'd always have your little portable radio, listen to the game, and I think it was Halloween night, and we lost to South Carolina. I remember it was ugly, like 19-15 or something stupid like that.
That was the Tyler Bray game or something, right? Yeah.
No, this would have been
2005.
05 or 08.
Okay.
Yeah, I wore a wool trench coat to that game.
And I remember him telling me that we lost, and I was just like, no, we didn't. Like, we didn't lose to South Carolina. Are you kidding me? Like, so no, I will never accept the fact that we're going to be competitive with South Carolina. No offense, Austin, but
no, I love it.
And when I went to a game there, the thing I liked about that stadium is that it's so close to the field. Like, you just feel like you're a part of the game. Like, it's a really cool setup. Hated that the entire tailgate area is basically just like a parking lot from a Midwestern plain state that's just copy and pasted right outside the stadium. Like, it's just...
You didn't like the fairgrounds?
No, there's no personality at all. It's just parking spots in concrete. It's like, how much
you didn't hit that Bojangles right outside the stadium?
No. I was...
Didn't even get a free Bojangles card from the people outside?
Probably couldn't read the Bojangles sign by the time I entered
That's
the stadium.
a good point.
And Adrian dropped his ticket, so we had to scalp a ticket. It was an interesting experience. But
I have a question about the Williams-Brice game day experience. What is the more bland and generic game day experience? Entering the field the 2001 or Sandstorm?
It's a tie, I think. I think it's a tie. I think they're equally that, yeah.
I actually kind of like Sandstorm now that South Carolina has embraced it.
Yeah.
When you're there and you just see all those towels like flying, and then you hear the song going, everybody's jumping, and then you hear the cock-a-doodle-doo. It's like I was trying to think of a way to describe what I think of like the South Carolina fan base, and it's just like people that are tourists that are just like, oh yeah, what do you do in town? Oh, you go to South Carolina game, and you wave your towel around. Like,
well, there's nothing else to do in Columbia at all, so that's pretty much the reason. Yeah.
They're tourists who come to Pigeon Forge, but they do it every year without fail.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pigeon Forge has no food or running water.
It's just the population of the South Carolina is just very odd to me. I don't know why.
That makes
I sometimes feel like I just don't even realize that South Carolina exists. Like, my sister used to live there. I've been there, but I never think about South Carolina for some reason. I don't know why I just thought of that, but no offense, Austin. So 50% chance. So let's get a little bit of score predictions. Kyle, let's start with you.
Let's see. I'll go 38-21 Tennessee.
Okay, Caleb.
Wow. The disrespect. Wow. Okay.
Boy, it's coming.
34-31 Tennessee.
Okay.
No, don't do this, Caleb. Pick South Carolina. Chris?
30-21 Tennessee.
Okay, Austin?
I'm going to say in order for us to have a shot, everybody's got to be under 30 points. So I'm going to say 27-24 South Carolina.
It's a good pick.
Don't you dare come on here as a guest and do that to us.
And support his team.
It's
the outrage.
It's a miracle. If we would have won by 3 last week, everybody would have picked South Carolina probably. But
yeah, I mean, the only reason the point spread's so high is because you won by 48 or whatever it was. I feel like.
Yeah.
The South Carolina defense is much better than people are giving it credit for. They force a lot of turnovers. They got a lot of depth. They're not a whole lot of depth, but they're good enough to force us to force us in our tracks.
Who have they played so far? What, Auburn, and who's their other tough opponent?
No, they played.
Did they play Auburn?
No, they didn't play Auburn. They
Kentucky.
played
Georgia,
Kentucky, and Georgia from an SEC.
Georgia?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we're the only team that scored a touchdown on Georgia. So
I remember that wide receiver.
Whatever that means. Yeah.
Deep pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, you all should have broken Stetson Bennett in half.
We intercepted him and he never played again. So that was the best we could do, probably.
Yeah, more than we could ever do. I am going to say Tennessee 48, South Carolina 20.
Good God.
Matt.
No, you showed me
Matt
last.
is on the moon.
South Carolina's defense is better than Missouri. I don't care. I don't care. If we ran for 500 nearly against Missouri, we should be able to run for 325 against South Carolina and throw for another 250.
Matt, did you just forget that we played the Florida game? Or
It didn't matter. It was our first road game. It was a gimme. Just let them have this one. Next week in Columbia, where it's really tough, that guy and his dry erase board. That was probably the moment of the game at the end where he just wrote, "I'm sad," and held it up, and they just stayed on it for a good half a minute. All right. We got 4 UT picks, 1 South Carolina pick. You make your pick. Who was who? Hint, hint, it was this Austin guy down here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait, we all picked Tennessee to win?
Yeah, except for Austin.
Wow, that's the first time.
For some
yeah,
reason.
this is odd. I don't like it. I also can't find a plug in Ben's house.
I'm not going to be here next week when the score is 27-24 South Carolina. I couldn't face that again. But so let's head on to our weekly gripe. Austin, we'll start with you since our guest. So every week we complain about something that's just bothering us. What do you got this week? What are you griping about?
Football wise or just anything?
Just anything.
Like.
I'm going to say and it's actually going to be football related, but NFL related. These taunting rules are ridiculous. They're flagging people spiking balls and stuff. It's nonsense. That's my weekly gripe. Yeah.
Yeah, that was, oh my God, that was a stupid call.
Yeah.
Caleb, what do you got? He's our all-star griper.
All right, guys. It's going to be a lawn care gripe this week. And the price of grass seed is insane. So I am trying to get my yard prepared for next season, and everyone's like, okay, you got to aerate and overseed your yard, and you got to do it now. I'm like, okay. So getting quotes online from all these companies. I'm like, okay, surely this won't cost too much, $100, $200 or something. No, I log on and get a quote, and it's like $840 to aerate, poke holes in my yard and put some grass seed down. And I'm like, that is ridiculous.
Why can't humans just let nature be nature? What are you talking about? You got to get what ready for next season? Your grass ready for next season. Doesn't grass just do that itself? Like, what are we talking about?
Apparently not. You got to help it out or something. So anyway, I'm like doing all this research. I'm like, all right, I'll just like do it myself. I'll just go buy some seed at the Home Depot or whatever. And there's like 100 different kinds. You've got like Kentucky bluegrass. You've got fescue, tall fescue, fescue blend, ryegrass, southern gold blend. Like there's like so many different kinds. I have no freaking clue which one you're supposed to get. So like go out to the garden center place and like, all right guys, like what do I buy? And they're like, oh, this one's good. You get a 50-pound bag for like $150. And the guy told me I needed like 90 pounds for my yard. So I'm like, good God. This is ridiculous. Just for some freaking seeds. That's my problem.
Just mow your lawn, Caleb. It'll be fine.
I was listening, but I don't remember. Kyle, what you got?
It's not a big one, but it was a little frustrating. So, I've been, because of COVID and stuff, we've not had the New York City Wine and Food Festival for 2 years. And the New York City Wine and Food Festival is back next weekend on October 14th, 15th, and 16th when I'm in Tennessee for the Ole Miss game. So I can't go to the Wine and Food
Breaking
Festival.
news here on the pod.
I know. I can't go.
Ladies and
can't
gentlemen,
go.
If you notice the very obscure background, that's the view that Mr. Kyle, Caleb, and Chris, and I believe, Chelsea, correct?
Yeah, interrupting
will
my
have
drive.
in 2 weeks. But Kyle's going to have to miss the New York City Wine and Cheese Festival.
Wine and Food Festival.
Wine
and they're
and
doing
food.
They're doing a discounted ticket this year because it's the first time back in 2 years.
Wait.
Where $175 for a weekend, all you can eat and all you can drink for like 72 hours.
You could buy a plane ticket and come to the Greek festival. Isn't it free?
I think it was last weekend, Matt.
Oh, never mind, Kyle. Never mind. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right.
I swear I told you about it, but Chris, what you?
I'll just have to wait another year.
Hey, next year.
Yeah.
Pants.
Did you say pants?
Pants, yeah, man. I'm in dire need of pants, but they're pants that I'm not going to wear for long, so I need cheap pants, like 2 pairs. That's it. As my waistline slowly recedes, I pretty much am running out of clothes. I'd say I probably got another month or so that I can somewhat stay in the clothes that I have. And when I go to the store, there are no pants either. Like, I like a cheap pair of khakis, so I go to Walmart, right? Like Jim Harbaugh inspired me. There's nothing wrong with a $20 pair of pants, especially when you're not going to be able to wear them in 2 months. So I go to Walmart, and it seems like every single place that sells any kind of clothes now, it's like there's no presentation anymore. Nothing's folded. You can't find anything. It's just thrown. It's like a warehouse. So I'm just combing through these things that look sort of okay, and I can't find a thing. There are no pants anywhere. I'm gonna be naked, or I'm gonna be wearing like bed sheets or something. It's gonna be embarrassing. Where do I find cheap pants?
I actually know the answer to this question.
Uh-oh.
Please help me.
More
It's
breaking news.
Costco. You got to go to Costco.
But I gotta get a membership.
Well, they'll let you go in once for free, I think.
Once for free.
I think so.
How cheap are their pants?
Like $10.
You kidding me?
No.
Can I find a nice straight leg khaki and a blue khaki? That's all I need.
I didn't say that. Didn't say nice, but they've got them and they're cheap and they'll work.
Just merely pants.
Yeah, they're just basic pants.
Have you tried Amazon?
I have. Everything on Amazon says it like disintegrates as soon as you put it on your body. It's made by
2 weeks. You're going to lose another 50 pounds. It'd be
If only, Caleb.
Could you go to like Old Navy and just go to their discount rack?
I did. It's a nightmare. I went to Goodwill. I went to Target. I've been to a lot of places. I need a size 40, 32 pant, and it doesn't exist in a flat front, straight leg. They're either just billowing like Sinbad, or I look like Tiger Woods in 1998.
Imagine you going to an old lady at Walmart, like, do you have any flat front, whatever pants? Like, oh, honey, all of our pants are over there, just... Like, what is this guy talking about?
You're actually like almost shockingly on point. The woman that does the try on rooms, she's like, oh, those paints look pretty good, and we got more over there, but they're all kind of done up over there. She was not helpful.
Well, good time to mention that this week's pod is brought to you by Stitch Fix. Sorry, sponsor. So Chris, go to stitchfix.com/ look up a promo code because they're not an actual sponsor, and you might be able to get those pants you've been looking for.
What's the promo code? Is it occasionally?
I don't know. Just Google it. We don't have one. They're not a sponsor yet.
No.
Balls by a million.
The SEC is coming to get us.
Promo code dark mode.
I like the uniforms.
Okay, yeah, let's I also like the black stripe around the orange stripe on the helmet. I'm a little iffy on, but the rest, like the black outline on the tee, looks great. Like, I think they look really good.
I agree. I think the black stripe is a little too thick, but otherwise, I like them. Can we call out something that's completely obvious to me, and that is the Tennessee fan base groupthink that we must have a black helmet with black jerseys. I do not understand why that must be the case. I think the white helmet looks great. White and black go together.
Well, those smoky gray helmets spoiled them. So
terrible.
Nice.
I was about to say the only thing that's missing is a black helmet, but
well,
remember those South Carolina like Nike Pro Combat like digital camo uniforms they used to have? What back in 09?
Yeah, those I hated those. Those were the worst uniforms.
Yeah, those were very weird
in history. Yeah.
Was that Under Armour or were you a Nike school at that point?
That was Nike.
We were Nike, yeah.
When were you Russell Athletic?
1989.
No.
No, I don't know.
I can see Chris Smelly wearing Russell Athletic flat, like it was almost like Alabama crimson, South Carolina scarlet, whatever.
I mean, Chris Smelly would have been like 2005, 2006, probably, right?
Who's before that?
I don't know.
You used to have an encyclopedic knowledge of South Carolina quarterbacks.
Was it Phil Petty? Is that who it was?
Phil Petty.
Yeah.
Number 43.
Yeah.
Well, folks, my gripe this week is, I don't know. I've never prepared for my gripe anymore. What have I griped about mainly this week? Oh, you know what I'm gonna? No, I'm not. It's not really a gripe. I'm bringing a conspiracy out into the world.
New segment.
Listen up. For the last 3 weeks, the Caleb and Chelsea household has won the fantasy football weekly most points payout. I don't know if I trust that. I mean, you run the league. You can get in there and change anything, probably.
No, you need to.
Who runs the league?
Right to the commissioner.
Is it the missus? We'll have to bring her on here next week. If it happens this week, for sure, she is coming on next week and explaining, because I'm a little sus I'm also a little bitter because Keenan Allen didn't get any touchdowns because I was originally projected to have the most points this week. But, of course, somebody over there went and changed the settings for that Monday night game to secure their, $10? So I shouldn't even complain. But, all right, anybody got anything else? Vols big over South Carolina this weekend. He's shaking his head.
It's going to be a close game. It's not going to feel good.
It's gonna be a close, low-scoring game. If it's 14-14, it'll be like 14-11 at halftime or something weird. Then I'll know we're in the weird zone and we've got a chance.
Nope. This is we're receiving votes in the polls next week game for the Vols. Very sorry. 48-20 Tennessee. Any final thoughts, anybody? Oh, yeah. By the way, comment down below your score prediction. If you're right, Kyle will send you one of his fancy Tennessee hats. He has a new one every week. Not really, but if you actually do get it right, we'll all sign something and probably not send it to you. But, yeah. Anything else? Anybody?
Great outro, by the way.
Oh, it's not over yet.
No.
Austin, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yes, Austin.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Hey, you're welcome to hop on next week and discuss the outcome of the game.
The recap.
Yeah.
If we lose,
Outcome
though,
pending.
No.
Yeah, well.
No, you're not. Don't even think about
Okay.
it.
He's
Well,
going to be sufferable about it if he's right.
I'll be in a crater on this moon if we win. So.
Right. Well, I appreciate you guys having me. It was fun. And Chris, I will send you a legal notice about that ambush you did a few minutes ago outside, but we'll talk about that later.
Box. 109 Parkway, Sevierville, Suite 2A.
Right. There we go.
There you have it, folks. Send him whatever you want, glitter bombs to whatever he just said. We got legal notices going out. We got Vol predictions going out. We had it all this week. But anyways, thank you, everybody, and bye-bye.